Hello and welcome back to Blades for Hire. If you'd like to check out the game, there is a link in the description, and obviously there's a demo available, and add it to your Steam wishlist if you like what you see. Now, we're gonna see if we can maybe do a little bit better here this time, because obviously, in the previous episode, we had a bit of a disaster. But that's okay, because we actually recruited a couple of extra people. We actually leveled up 3 people to level 3, which is great, and we're now going to catch the uncatchable. A poster with the distinctive features of a notorious thief known as Crooked hangs outside the city guard post. There's a reward for catching the villain. It sounds like a good way to earn some gold. Alright, so we're going to try and do this. Now, I have 65 gold right now, and we do actually need to get Rolf a weapon. Should I? Wait a minute. Should I go and get him a weapon right now? We should probably get him a weapon right now, right? Yeah, it's probably going to be a good idea for me to do that. So if I can remember how to do it, then I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I obviously didn't realize in the previous episode that it is actually not by default that he's going to be providing us with morale. It is going to be kind of a thing that happens only when you select it. Otherwise, he can actually attack. And I did not realize this at the time, so yes, there's that. Anyway, I guess I will just purchase this mace. We'll give him the mace. And this guy's wearing using a bow. I think that's fine. This guy's using a long sword. Alright. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have Edeline in the front there. This guy in the front as well. Who else can actually be in the front? I'm thinking probably, yes, probably Malachi maybe. Malachi's probably going to do relatively well there. The rest cannot really attack from the back, so it's a little bit unfortunate, but we'll try it out. Let's move on. No events. Okay, no random events going on there, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind. You know, it's a little bit, maybe a little bit worrisome sometimes. Anyway. The party arrives at the local guard post to get more details about the wanted man. One of the guards reluctantly shares that the thief has a history of stealing valuables from wealthy households. The items usually turn up later on the black market, but the source has never been traced. Let's ask about the poster. According to the guard, the local wealthy residents finally got tired of ransoming their family heirlooms. They joined forces and hired an artist to create posters featuring the thief's face. When asked where the image of such an elusive criminal came from, the guard admits he doesn't know. Let's ask about the investigation. The irritated guard says no one has time to deal with this case right now. If the rich have enough money to pay some scribbler, they'd be better off hiring a private investigator or sponsoring the city guard. When the mercenaries claim they're private investigators, the guard gives them a scornful look. Still, he tells them how to find the head of House Blackmarsh, who organized the other aristocrats for a joint effort. Go to the address. Richard Blackmarsh is found at his estate. He even deigns to receive the uninvited guests in his office almost immediately, apparently encouraged by the stated visit, or shall we say stated reason for their visit. After glancing over the group, the aristocrat faintly wrinkles his nose, but gestures for them to speak. When the mercenaries once again introduce themselves as private investigators, the reaction is somewhat more positive. Alright, ask about the thief's description, suggest to pay the guards, inquire about the stolen items, or ask for an advance. We can obviously decide on any one of these. For me personally, I 100% agree with the guard, and I basically say that these rich fellows probably would have done a very good job to just pay the guards a little bit extra, and then they might have been able to, I don't know, dedicate more resources to it or something like that. But yeah, we're going to ask about the thief's description to begin with. Let's see. Blackmarsh Senior says he never saw the thief himself. His cousin Corwin was in charge of putting together the description. Corwin is most likely working at the town chancery. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to guess that Corwin is at the forefront of what's happening to the thief. or something to do with the thief. I think Corwin has something to do with it at the very least. Let's see. We could suggest to pay the guards, or inquire about the stolen items. Let's inquire about the stolen items. Richard eagerly describes the missing possessions, casually estimating the total loss at several hundred gold pieces. Let's ask for an advance. He listens with a mocking smile, then suggests the party enlist in the city guard instead. Oh, I see how it is. Anyway, we'll suggest to pay the guards. The nobleman sarcastically replies that he has no intention of paying people already paid to do a job they're incapable of. Well, that does kind of make sense to a certain degree. If he hasn't gotten any kind of success from the guards beforehand, why should he pay them more? I guess that is to be expected, but I don't know. Maybe they'd put in more effort. I'm not sure. Anyway, after saying goodbye to the aristocrat, the party leaves the estate. At the town chancery, the guards let the mercenaries in only reluctantly, and the official they're looking for seems quite busy, judging by the long line outside his office. We can cut in line because we actually have significant strength. Let's do that. Yes, we were successful. The mercenaries rudely shove the others aside and enter the office. The official glares at them over his papers and asks in a disgruntled tone what they want. And we're going to explain ourselves. Upon hearing the explanation, Corwin brightens up and invites the party to ask any questions relevant to their investigation. Alright, well, we're going to ask for the perpetrator's description. Corwin Blackmarsh states that it wasn't he who gave the description to the artist, but his son-in-law Hubert. The man is probably relaxing at his favorite tavern, the Boar and Peacock, just a few blocks away. Yes, I'm almost 100% certain he has something to do with it. Can you see a pattern? Can you see a pattern here? Because I'm basically just going to go, oh, that new fellow that we've just heard about now, that's probably the guy that has something to do with the thief. Yes, it seems like to me that I'm just going to say that every single time. Anyway, inquire about the stolen items. Corwin provides an exhaustive list of what's missing. Noticing the mercenary's eyes glaze over, he transcribes everything onto paper and solemnly hands it to them. Okay, ask for an advance. The official replies that a contract must be drawn up first, which could take several working days. Once that's done, and if the party has proper credentials, they can discuss a possible advance. The mercenaries wisely change the subject. Okay, go to his brother-in-law. Let's do that. Leaving the bureaucrat, the party heads to the tavern. They find the man sitting at a private table in the company of a couple of overpainted women and a pile of empty bottles. Clearly intoxicated, Hubert tries to wave the mercenaries away, but instead drops his mug to the floor. While the drunkard searches under the table, the party quickly explains why they dared to interrupt his leisure time. We're going to ask about the description. Hubert declares that he never even met the artist in person. It must have been Richard Blackmarsh who gave the description, since he organized the whole thing. Aha, I see. So in other words, we are going around in circles here, and they are all attempting to blame each other. Well, let's ask about the stolen items, I suppose. Hubert slurs a list of clearly exaggerated losses. After all, no matter how skillful a thief Crooked was, it was unlikely that he had stolen not just family jewels, but also the tea set of the aristocrat's late great-grandmother, and the cabinet it was stored in. Oh, really? How would he lug that out of there? Or is that just a figure of speech? Maybe it's just a figure of speech. Ask for an advance. The aristocrat hiccups unhappily and hands over 5 gold coins. Hubert replies to the inquisitive looks that he has no more money on him, and then orders another drink. Yes, so he obviously does have more money on him. Isn't that great? Anyway, there we go. We did actually get a little bit of extra cash. And we can now return to Blackmarsh Manor. Yes, the party decides not to waste time on the drunkard and returns to Richard. The aristocrat is outraged and tells the detectives to speak directly to the artist and find out who gave him the description. He also offers some unfiltered opinions about negligent fools who distract hard-working people with nonsense. The mercenaries leave the inhospitable manor. Now, no offense, but is he really hard-working? I'm not sure. Are rich people hardworking? I wouldn't know. I don't know. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. Some are, some are not. It depends. Anyway, let's go to the artist. At the specified location on the outskirts of the city, the party finds the artist's house. Like the rest of the neighborhood, the building has clearly seen better days. It appears that whatever the artist was paid by the rich, let me just rewind that real fast. It appears that whatever the artist was paid by the rich, it wasn't enough to fix the roof. And upon going inside, the party finds the artist sorting through some jewelry. When he notices the armed visitors, he quickly sweeps the valuables into a bag, but not before the mercenary spot a couple of items that match the descriptions of the stolen heirlooms. Noticing the sudden change in their expressions, the artist decides it's time to make a swift exit through the nearest window. Alright, let's give chase. Success! The party rushes outside after the fugitive. They quickly catch and subdue him, then return the weakly resisting man to the house and tie him to a chair. Let's interrogate him. After a few persuasive arguments, the artist confesses. He is the thief named Crooked. Deciding to make extra money from the rich, he planted the idea of wanted posters on Blackmarsh Senior via third parties, paid some street artist to draw a random stranger, and then distributed copies. To sow confusion, he told each wealthy victim that someone else had supplied the description. When finished, he offers to share his earnings in exchange for his freedom. And as you can see, every single person says yes, apart from Rolf. But we are going to agree, of course. Deciding the greedy aristocrats got what they deserved, the party accepts a hefty pouch of gold from Crooked with grim satisfaction. Everyone's morale went up, as you can quite clearly tell. Everyone's morale is extremely, extremely good and very, very healthy now as a result of our actions in this quest. So for me personally, I'm pretty happy with how that went. Now, we do have another task over here, in pursuit of mana. Let's do it. With prices rising, acquiring mana in sufficient quantities is becoming increasingly difficult. Lewis claims that in addition to iron, the northern mines owned by Lord Cunningham secretly yield mana crystals, which are sold on the black market without the ruler's knowledge. Perhaps the enterprising miners could be persuaded to share their profits in exchange for silence. Alright, let's see. So let me... So we didn't actually get any fighting whatsoever done in that one, which is very, very strange. Usually I would say that we would, but no, we didn't. Alright, there we go. And then we're going to make our way over there. We have another quest down there as well. A mage wedding is going on. Very interesting. The party arrives at the mines. The mining settlement is small and its streets are currently deserted. Most locals are likely either working underground or resting in their homes. Okay, well, let's search for the mine overseer's house. Reasoning that the local overseer is likely in charge of the illegal operation, the mercenaries head toward a two-story building that rises above the miners' modest homes. Amid the ramshackle dwellings, the house looks as out of place as a capital aristocrat in a portside tavern. On the porch, two burly guards squint against the midday sun, lazily chatting. At the sight of the party, their conversation halts. After exchanging wary glances, they rudely ask what the uninvited guests want. Request a meeting with the overseer. The mercenaries explain that they've come to discuss important business. The guards glance at one another and ask what kind of business that might be. Well, we have 10 charisma with someone, so I think we're probably going to be pretty likely to do this. Yep, there we go. Clearly unnerved, the guards step aside. After getting directions to the office, the mercenaries proceed inside. Inside, they find an elderly, heavy-set man seated at a desk engrossed in paperwork. Looking up, the overseer regards the visitors with a questioning expression. Okay, we're going to start indirectly here. The mercenaries begin by describing the complex situation in the province, the soaring prices of mana, and the potential consequences for anyone caught in its illegal trade. Looking bored, the overseer asks them to get to the point. Okay, let's get to the point. The mercenaries bluntly state that they know about the mine's involvement in black market mana sales, and listening intently, the overseer calmly replies that such accusations require evidence. Demand proof of innocence. Laughing, the overseer strikes a small bell on his desk. Moments later, armed guards burst in, and he orders them to escort the uninvited guests out of the settlement. Outnumbered, the mercenaries have no choice but to comply, enduring the locals' taunts as they leave. Really? I'm actually very surprised. I thought we would be, I mean, no offense, but I thought we would be fighting them, right? I thought we would be fighting them and we would do a little bit of fisticuffs and a little bit of intimidation to go along with it. But apparently not. Very sad. Very, very sad indeed. Okay, let's go into the tavern once again. I actually would like to see if we can maybe get... let's see. I'm thinking maybe some armor here or something like that. I think that would be quite nice for Terowin right here. So we're going to buy some armor for him. There we go. Now he's... Oh, yeah. Now he's doing real... Oh, yes. Now he's doing very nicely. Look at him. All right. So it's highly unlikely he's going to have any problems here. I'm going to buy these chainmail pants for him as well. It's actually quite funny that I'm going so hard on this. I don't know why I would be. We actually have some archery gloves here that he can get. Oh, no, he already has some archery gloves. That's hilarious, isn't it? Yeah. Every single day of the week. Okay, so let me actually just see here. I actually do want to get this as well for Eli here, because he doesn't have a chest piece, so it's probably going to make sense. Let's go to the map, and we will then go... Oh, wait. We have something else going... Ah, tournament. Yes. We will go to the tournament. Oh, yeah, I love the tournament. I think the tournaments are super, super fun, actually. So that's the reason why I'm doing that. Let's see. The duelist. There we go. And then the rest can basically just go wherever. And there we have it. Okay, let's go to the tournament. Nice. Okay, so... Oh, we don't have enough money. Oh, does it matter? No, apparently we can go into debt. Oh, that's nice. All right, so... Here we get to choose our tactics. So, first of all, I'm going to do an inspiring song with Rolf, because I want Edeline to stay in the battle with us. As much as possible. And, yeah, I don't really need to restore morale with Terowin. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job. We are going to... Ooh, critical chance. Whoa. I mean, that reduces his... Oh, I mean, I don't really like that. We're going to go for Worthy Rival, I think. Let's find Weakness. Let's do Convenient Target. Oh, wow, look at that. -10 to morale each round. No. I think we're going to do Hit and Run. That sounds really good, actually. There we go. Let's do it. Okay, so she's going to go ahead and hit. Very nice. Let's see what we can do. Oh, nice damage. That is some big damage there. All I can hope is that they don't continually attack the same person. Unfortunately, this fellow cannot attack in the back row at the moment. Maybe I should have given him a bow or something like that, right? That probably would have made more sense. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about this, actually. Yeah. I'm gonna have to retreat someone relatively soon. Terowin is taking massive damage, actually, surprisingly enough. I wish we'd be able to direct them slightly. I wish we would be able to do that. No! Our archer is dead! Well, I mean, it was kind of to be expected, I suppose. But I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't. Okay, we're going to get him out of here. There we go. We're going to get Edeline out of here too. And we're going to get this guy out of here. Oh no, she's dead too. Well, actually, technically they don't actually die in the tournament, do they? Yeah, technically they don't actually die in the tournament. For some reason, why is this guy not actually able to attack? Marks a target. Oh, I see. He's just marking people? Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really help us that much, does it? Okay, well, let's just see. Maybe we can inflict a little bit of extra damage. Why is he going for the only person with armor? Oh, no. That is terrible, isn't it? Oh, that is absolutely awful. Oh, massive damage, though. Massive damage. If only he had actually gone for someone that was actually actually vulnerable rather than wounded. Would have made so much sense. Unfortunately, we had a huge defeat there, unfortunately. No luck this time. The mercenaries leave the... yeah, there we go. We've got another tournament actually ready as well. So we could technically take part in both of them. Let's actually see whether that's even possible. We might be able to make something work here because we have Eli actually able to find weakness. If these guys can actually hit the same target, we might have an opportunity here. Because the thing is, if Find Weakness is activated, and then we have the ability to hit the same target that we have there, we might have a really, really good shot. Let's attack the enemy's backline first. Let's do Bloodletting, Inspiring Song. Okay, let's do it. I'm kind of hoping that... yeah, oh, nice. See that massive damage? That was insane damage. We really just need this guy to attack in the back there. And then we're going to be pretty good. Let's switch him to random target now. Yes, yes. Attack this guy. He's vulnerable right now. He's vulnerable right now. So I'm kind of hoping that they're going to be able to attack him a little bit more. Unfortunately, they're all focusing on that guy. Okay, that's fine. We've got a lot of armor there. He's dead, but that's okay. I mean, technically, he's not dead. Just bear that in mind. He's not actually dead. He's just wounded. We're doing a lot better this time. And I think we should probably start attacking with this guy, possibly. Yep. Nice. Nice. Good damage. Okay, there we go. Ah, of course yeah. Of course they would attack the wounded one. It feels to me like the AI is very good at targeting the injured people that you have. Whereas you're not really capable of doing that because it's all randomized. So it would be nice if we had a way to sort of direct them a little bit. But it very much depends. Obviously, we don't have the tactics at the moment to really do that. But there you go. We did gain experience. Look at that. Very nice. And everyone's actually leveled up as a result of that. Let's take part in the semi-finals. Okay, wow, this is going to be extremely difficult. I have a bad feeling about this. I really don't think we're going to even be able to do anything here. Let's do convenient target. I'm going to just do recklessness, to be honest. I am literally just going to do that. We'll find weakness, just cause. Bloodletting is already activated. Yep, let's do it. Let's just cross our fingers and hope, otherwise I am in the dumps. I have minus 100 gold, which is not looking particularly good. Okay, so far enemies are attacking all kinds of different people right now. Oh no, they're all focusing on Terrorwind right there, which is not very good. They've got they've got a mage. Oh, that's terrible. That's very bad. That is very, very bad. Kind of worried about this. Yeah, we might have an issue. Gonna try to attack with this guy potentially. Hopefully, maybe he'll be able to attack at some point. Let's attack with this guy too. Wow, the mage does so much damage. Yeah, that's the thing. We lost Bob, right? We lost Bob in the previous episode, and he's amazing. Like, mages are so incredibly strong. Unfortunately, it looks as though this is a defeat for us here. Some of these enemies are just way, way, way too strong for us, and/or they just target the right people, and we just don't. That probably makes a pretty significant difference right there. But we did level up, which is pretty cool in my opinion. I actually very much appreciate that, because now look at what we can do. We can literally choose a number of additional things, and we didn't really have any kind of danger. You know, we didn't have to think to ourselves, oh yeah, we're gonna die, oh no, that, you know, no, we didn't have any of that, because we're actually cool. So, critical hits from allies grant a double morale bonus, or passive defense. No, passive defense is definitely gonna be the way to go here. I'm gonna have to get him a shield though. That's going to be extremely impactful for us. Aggressive combat. Sounds good, yes. Aggressive combat sounds pretty fun. Does not attack. Plus 10 to the defense of the whole group. That sounds pretty cool, actually. Let's do that. What else do we have here? Courage, strength. What does strength actually do? Does that actually assist in the damage of the longbow? I think it might. Yeah, it does a little bit, as you can see right there. 0.5. Intelligence. He has 10 intelligence, and if I increase his courage, what does courage actually do? That's the question. I have no idea what it does, so we'll just get him strength for the moment. And what else do we have here? Critical multiplier, ruthlessness. Yeah, there we go. Get his critical multiplier up. Thanks very much. Hit and run. Let's go for that. We could go for the defense bonus if we wanted to. Maybe the defense bonus would actually be the way to go. Yeah, you know what? I'll go for the defense bonus. I think that sounds pretty fun. Anyway, we'll go down to the mage wedding. Yes, we'll go down to the mage wedding and we'll see exactly what's going on. As you can see, we got some level 3s, which is very nice. And let's go down there and see what's happening with the mage wedding. Upon arrival, the party finds preparations for the ceremony in full swing. The riverside settlement is decorated with colorful ribbons and flowers. The local elder, wearing a visibly relieved expression, offers the mercenaries a chance to rest before the event. Actually, I don't think I need to rest, so I'm just going to survey the surroundings first. The party declines the offer and decides to take a closer look at the place. The settlement has only a couple of dozen houses and no streets in the sense that city dwellers are accustomed to. The mercenaries have time to familiarize themselves with the layout of the buildings and the shoreline before a servant of the elder appears and informs them that the celebration is about to begin. The party heads to a house on the opposite shore, where a number of guests have already gathered in the courtyard. The elder, visibly nervous, asks the mercenaries to station themselves at the entrance and keep an eye on the proceedings to prevent any misunderstandings. Of course, the celebration is far from the scale of a public sermon or an execution, but there are clearly more attendees than the village could house, and more guests keep arriving, all passing under the mercenaries' watchful gaze. Most are dressed appropriately, though certainly not lavishly. Hearing the officiating priest announce the arrival of the newlyweds, the mercenaries turn their attention to the couple. An elderly pair, decent-looking and adorned with floral wreaths, stand smiling beside the minister of the one. After taking in the scene, the party returns to their duties. The celebration is loud, but the guests behave with surprising calm. This may be due to the near-total absence of young people and the near-total absence of alcohol. Growing bored while waiting for something to happen, the mercenaries spot a small procession, about a dozen people, young peasants by the look of them, approaching from the bridge. Armed with sticks and pitchforks, they slow as they approach the entrance, eyeing the mercenaries with confusion. Ask them what they need. One of the larger peasants steps forward and declares they've come to pay their respects to the guests of Mills. Okay, so we can let them pass or don't let them pass. Let them pass, I guess. With a shrug, the mercenaries allow the peasants through. After all, what harm can a handful of bumpkins do against a few dozen mages? Prepared for some sort of spectacle, the party watches as the peasants push past the guests and head toward the newlyweds. The general chatter dies down as the crowd's attention shifts. At last, reaching their destination, the troublemakers freeze, their eyes fixed on the newlyweds. After an awkward silence, the peasant leader mumbles a half-hearted congratulation, then leads the procession back out the same way they came. The guests, visibly puzzled, soon return to their celebration. As the peasants pass the mercenaries, they flood the party with questions. It turns out someone in the village had heard a rumor that rich youths from the capital were throwing a lavish party, paying off the elder for both the venue and the people. Fearing the sort of debauchery aristocrats are known for, the peasants had come to shut it down. But instead of a wild party, they found a quiet wedding full of elderly folk. The mercenaries share a story about the toll mana takes on health and appearance. When the peasants realize that many of the guests might actually be their own age, they become even more confused. Thanking the mercenaries, they shuffle off toward the village, loudly debating how best to deal with that blabbermouth Greg. Laughing at the bizarre encounter, the party returns to their duties. Dusk begins to fall, the feast gradually dies down, and the guests start to leave. Just as the mercenaries are about to head to the Elder for their promised payment, having given up hope of anything noteworthy happening, they hear a muffled explosion from the direction of the house. Rushing to the scene, the party bursts into the building and finds the Elder, his face twisted with worry, tending to the bodies of the newlyweds. A massive hole with charred edges gapes in the wall of the building. Find out what happened. Nervously glancing around, the Elder explains in a dazed voice that one of the guests apparently went mad from unrequited love for the bride. The man had sat quietly through the ceremony, then challenged the groom to a duel for the lady's hand. When the groom predictably refused, the jilted guest exploded with rage. Literally. After launching an attack, he blasted through the wall and fled toward the village. The Elder pleads with the mercenaries to stop the mad sorcerer before he causes more harm. Okay, demand an increase in payment. No, we're just going to agree. Deciding not to waste time on further conversation, the mercenaries set off in the direction of the settlement. Okay, go across the bridge. Rattling their weapons and boots, the party runs toward the bridge. As they cross the river, the mercenaries see the roofs of the houses light up with a flash for a moment. Another explosion sounds from deep within the settlement, followed by screams. Let's rush there. Upon reaching the source of the noise, the party sees a dilapidated house engulfed in flames, with the bodies of several peasants lying in front of it. The silhouette of a man is leaning over them. He clutches his head and howls unintelligibly about the unfairness of the world and his own fate. The man suddenly falls silent and turns to the party, revealing to the dim moonlight his face contorted with malice. The mercenaries barely have time to scatter in different directions before a huge fireball hits the spot where the group had just been standing. The madman doesn't seem to be in the mood for negotiations. One mage? Surely we're going to be okay dealing with one mage, are we? Well, I actually don't know. I guess we're going to see. Let's do Inspiring Song first, and then we'll switch to Hymn of the Invincibles. We'll do this one. Recklessness. Yes, and then Find Weakness. That sounds good. And then we will do Hit and Run. That sounds good too. All right. Now, obviously, he's going to do some AoE. Yeah, the AoE is going to be okay. I was about to say, I think this is going to be quite difficult. Never mind. After dealing with the sorcerer, the party returns to the Elder to finally receive their payment. An alarm bell is ringing in the settlement, and the locals are trying to put out the fires. The mercenaries take their hard-earned money and hurriedly leave Mills, hoping never to return here again. And there it is, and we're back. And then we can do the Black Swan, and we can continue onward and just have a grand old time. And for me personally, I think this game is absolutely fantastic. I think the one thing that I would like to see is just slightly, doesn't need to be, right? Doesn't need to be, but just slightly more direction for the combat. And I don't need to, this is the funny thing, I don't need to tell my troops what to do. I don't need direct control over them, but it would be nice if we had, as a default, the ability to just tell them, oh yeah, can you attack the back line? Can you attack the front line? You know, stuff like that. So if there is a little bit random, you know, sort of randomness to it, I'm perfectly happy with that. I just don't really like it when they all attack something random completely, and it's very, very difficult to sort of organize a coordinated strike. That's all it is. Anyway, if you'd like to check out Blades for Hire, there is a link in the description. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.